So this is the test paper which we had in the last week. ठीक है, तो वर्क एंड एनर्जी टेस्ट सॉल्यूशंस. पहला क्वेश्चन था हमारा, व्हेन इज द वर्क डन नेगेटिव. ठीक है, तो सब लोगों ने टेस्ट दिया था ना? एवरीवन वाज देयर इन द टेस्ट.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the question was, when is the work done negative? So work done is negative when applied force and the displacement are in opposite direction. So if we are applying force in a direction opposite to the displacement, then the work done will be negative. Okay, when theta is equal to 180 degree हो जाता है. ठीक है, तो work, when is work done negative? When force applied and the displacement are in opposite direction, then the work done is negative. So this should be the answer. Ideal answer basically. इसके अराउंड भी तुमने कुछ भी लिखा होगा तो you will get the marks. The concept should be well there in your answers, should be mentioned in your answer. Second one is, a person holding a trunk on his head is standing at a place. What is the work done by him? So because he is standing at the place, there is no displacement which is happening. So work done will be equal to 0. Why? Because we know that work done is equal to force into displacement. Work done is force into displacement. If displacement is 0, then the work done will also be 0. So 0, second का आंसर क्या होगा? 0 as there is no displacement. Clear है बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Now let's go to the third question. Third question is, moon is experiencing a gravitational force due to earth and is revolving around the earth in circular orbit. So let's say this is the earth and this is the circular orbit जिसमें moon is going around the earth, right? So this is earth and this is moon. Now, what is the work done and why? So because moon is going in a circular orbit, the force here, right, is in this direction, the centripetal force, and the displacement will be in this direction. So force and displacement are perpendicular to each other here, right? So force and displacement is perpendicular to each other. So work done will be 90 degrees. Work done will be 0, right? So we have seen that work done is equal to force into displacement into cos of 90. So when the force and displacement are perpendicular, work done is 0. So work done is 0 again as the centripetal force is in radial direction, radius की तरफ है, and displacement is in tangential direction, इधर है, and both of them are perpendicular to each other. That's why work done will be 0 in this case also. Next question, a child winds his toy car by using its key. Now the car can run throughout the room. Which form of energy has been produced by winding the car? जब आप wind करते हैं ना, चाबी घुमाते हैं ना उस गाड़ी की, तो उसमें the spring which is attached there, that there is a potential energy which is being stored in that spring, and when you release that the key, the car starts moving, right? बचपन में वो चाबी वाला हम लोग गाड़ी से खेले ही होंगे, सभी लोग देखे होंगे वो. तो जब आप when you wind the car, the potential energy is stored in the car, and when you release that key, right, that potential energy gets converted into kinetic energy. So potential, आपसे पूछा which form of energy has been produced. So potential energy is produced by winding the car, which is later converted to kinetic energy.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, beta.
Sir, in this question I have written that potential energy is being converted to mechanical energy. So is it correct?
Potential energy is also a form of mechanical energy only. आपको बस ये लिखना, मतलब वैसे तो आप बस पोटेंशियल एनर्जी भी लिख देते तो क्वेश्चन में मार्क्स मिल जाएंगे एंड यू विल गेट द मार्क्स. बट मैकेनिकल एनर्जी के दो टाइप्स हैं, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी और काइनेटिक एनर्जी. So when you say कि potential energy is converted into mechanical energy, potential energy itself is a mechanical energy. So mechanical energy में convert करने का वो statement सही नहीं माना जाएगा. But लेकिन ठीक है, तुमने potential energy लिखा है, you will get the marks.
Okay, sir.
Fifth one is, how is horsepower related to what? 1 horsepower is 746 watt. है ना? ये तो सिंपल था. किसके पांचों में पांचों सही हुए हैं?
So mine is correct.
Bhumi, all is correct, and other, I think, Alia, आपने बोला?
Yes, sir.
Good, good, good. Now let's go to the next part, B part. Question is, at a construction site, a laborer is carrying n bricks, each of mass m. So there are n bricks, and the mass of each brick is m, to a height h, right? Through a ladder arrangement. Is any work done by him? Is he doing some work? If yes, how much? If not, why? So देखो, he is carrying n bricks to a height h. तो 1 brick को height h तक ले जाने के लिए कितना potential energy या work done होगा? mgh होगा, है ना? And there are n number of bricks, so n into mgh will be the total amount of work done. So that is, so work done will be equal to n mgh. So yes, there is a work done against the force of gravity equal to potential energy stored, which will be equal to n into m into g into h.
So do we need to write the formula also?
Which formula? This?
Yes, sir.
आपको बोला हुआ है if yes how much, तो ये तो कैलकुलेट करके बताना पड़ेगा आपको. Is any work done by him? If you have written yes, by how much? How much work has been done? So you will have to write how much work has to be done.
Okay, sir.
So 1 mark on yes and 1 mark on the formula. Okay. तो इसीलिए कहा जाता है क्वेश्चन को अच्छे से पढ़ना है. 7th वाला क्या कह रहा है? Block of mass 1 kg moving under the effect of a horizontal force changes its speed from 2 meter per second to 10 meter per second. What is the work done by the applied force? So this is by work energy theorem. ठीक है, जहां पे है ना स्पीड इंक्रीज हो रहा है, वर्क डन पूछा है, आंख बंद करके वर्क एनर्जी थ्योरम लगा देंगे. So by applying work energy theorem, we know that work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. So work done is half mv square minus half mu square, change in kinetic energy. So that is half mass दे रखा है 1 kg, half into 1 into final speed 10 meter per second है, initial speed 2 meter per second. So half into 1 into 10 square minus 2 square हो जाएगा. So 100 minus 4 is 96. So 96 by 2 is 48 joule. So work done will be equal to 48 joule. Is it clear, बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next question is, a man pulls a box on a horizontal surface by applying a force of 10 Newton at an angle of 60 degree with the horizontal. So a person is pulling a block with a force F is equal to 10 Newton at an angle theta is equal to 60 degree. Find the work done by this force in displacing the body through 2 meter. Displacement S is equal to 2 meter. तो हम लोग को पता है वर्क डन इज इक्वल टू फोर्स इनटू डिस्प्लेसमेंट इनटू कॉस ऑफ एंगल बिटवीन इट. कॉस 60 का वैल्यू यहाँ पे दे रखा है 1/2. सो विल यूज इट. फोर्स इज 10, डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज 2 एंड 1/2 कैंसिल हो गया. ये क्या हो गया? 10 जूल्स हो गया. क्लियर है बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
6th 7th 8th में किनका किनका सारा सही है?
So mine is correct.
बढ़िया। अब आते हैं हम लोग 9th क्वेश्चन पे। A 10 kg ball, right? A 10 kg ball is dropped from a height 10 meter. Find the initial potential energy of the ball, kinetic energy just before it reaches the ground, and the speed just before it reaches the ground. So 10 kg ball is dropped from a height 10 meter. So mass दे रखा है और height दे रखा है. Initial potential energy mgh करके हम लोग निकाल लेंगे, है ना. mgh is mass 10, g 9.8 and h 10, 980 joules हो गया. अगर किसी बच्चे ने g का वैल्यू 10 लिया है उसको भी मार्क्स मिल जाएगा. बी पार्ट है the kinetic energy just before it reaches the ground. So whole of the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. So as the ball falls down, the potential energy gets converted into kinetic energy. Hence, kinetic energy just before it reaches the ground is equal to initial potential energy. So kinetic energy कितना हो जाएगा? 980 joules हो जाएगा. C part, speed just before it reaches the ground. ठीक है. So which is equal to half mv square is 980 joules, है ना. तो half mv square is 980 joules. मास 10 kg डाल दिया, half into 10 into v square is 980 joules. उसको उधर ले जाएंगे, v square is 980 into 2 by 10, so which is 196. तो v का वैल्यू कितना आ जाएगा? 14 मीटर पर सेकेंड. Is it clear, बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is what is mentioned here. Okay. 10th question is a ball of mass 1 kg. A ball of mass 1 kg is dropped from a height of 5 meter on a surface, right? It bounces to a height of 1.8 meter. Calculate the loss of kinetic energy of the ball when it strikes the surface. तो देखो क्या है, ये हम लोगों ने क्लास में भी किया था. बाउंस करके ये वापस यहाँ पे पहुंचता है. तो जब यहाँ पे जो mgh1 ये पोटेंशियल एनर्जी है, यहाँ पे इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी होगा, और जो फाइनल काइनेटिक एनर्जी बाउंसिंग के समय that will be equal to mgh2, जो potential energy later on. So this potential energy gets converted into kinetic energy. Some energy is wasted and the remaining kinetic energy is again converted into potential energy. Now they have asked you loss of kinetic energy. Loss of kinetic energy is equal to total loss in potential energy, right? So mgh1 minus mgh2 कर लेंगे, values put कर लो. 1 into g 9.8 into 5 minus 1 into 9.8 into 1.8. If you have taken 10, then also it is fine. So this is your loss in kinetic energy. Clear है बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Now a body of 2 kg falls from a height of 500 meter. Okay. So this is a body of 2 kg falls from a height of 500 meter. Find the kinetic energy and potential energy of the body after 8 seconds of fall. So देखो total height इस object का यहाँ से 500 meter, right? इसका mass 2 kg है, right? और total height जो है 500 meter. अब हम लोग को निकालना आफ्टर 8 सेकेंड ऑफ फॉल. तो 8 सेकेंड में ये कितना डिस्टेंस गिर गया, ये हम लोग को पहले निकालना है ना. So distance traveled in 8 seconds is equal to ut plus half gt square करेंगे, right? So usse we'll get initial velocity is 0. So 0 into 8 plus half 9.8 into t square. So height is 313.6, which it has fallen down. Okay. Now total height is 500 meter. तो ग्राउंड से जो हाइट होगा दैट विल बी 500 minus 313.6, so that is 186.4. So this becomes 313.6. This is 186.4. And we'll also find the velocity after 8 seconds by v is equal to u plus gt वाले formula से. So we get again u का value 0 लेंगे, 9.8 into 8 78.4 हो गया. तो v is equal to 78.4 मीटर पर सेकेंड. तो ये हम लोग का फाइनल वेलोसिटी आ गया इस पॉइंट पे आफ्टर 8 सेकेंड. t is equal to 8 सेकेंड के बाद दिस इज द वेलोसिटी एंड दिस इज द हाइट. सो काइनेटिक एनर्जी निकालना होगा हाफ mv स्क्वायर करके निकाल लेंगे, और पोटेंशियल एनर्जी निकालना होगा वो mgh करके निकाल लेंगे. So m mass 2 kg into g is 9.8 into h is 186.4. So this is the potential energy. And similarly half mv स्क्वायर करके हम लोग काइनेटिक एनर्जी निकाल लेंगे. किसका किसका ये भी सही है?
सर माइनस करें.
Okay. Now last question was this proof wala question, which we have time and again done many times in the class. We had to show that for a freely falling object, the sum of its potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant at all point. तो पहले A point ले लेंगे, फिर B point लेंगे, C point लेंगे. A point पे जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी है वो 0 होगा, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी mgh होगा, टोटल एनर्जी mgh हो गया. पोजीशन B पे अगर हम लोग बात करेंगे, इस पोजीशन पे एट पोजीशन B, लेट v1 इज द वेलोसिटी ऑफ द बॉडी. ठीक है, v1 is the velocity of the body, then u is equal to 0 and s is equal to x, right? तो इससे हम लोग को v1 square is equal to u square, that is 0 square plus 2gx करके we will get the value of v1 square, है ना. और ये सारे जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी और पोटेंशियल एनर्जी निकाल के हम लोग ऐड कर लेंगे तो वो भी हम लोग को mgh ही आएगा. और उसी तरह सी पॉइंट पे ग्राउंड पे जब हिट करने वाला है उस समय जो टोटल एनर्जी होगा वो भी mgh आएगा. सो यही हम लोग को प्रूफ करके दिखाना था. ठीक है बच्चों? इज इट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So how many of you now are looking at getting कितना 30 मार्क्स का था पेपर? 5, 6, 11 and 20, 25 marks का पेपर था. So how many of you are thinking of getting more than 22?
Me.
Okay. Yes, Vivan, g is equal to 10 वाला भी सही होगा, है ना. g का वैल्यू 10 लेंगे तो भी जो आंसर आएगा वो भी सही मार्क होगा. So this was of 25 marks. तो इसको ठीक कर लेते हैं. So what I'll do, I'll share this solutions with you as well, जिससे कि आप लोग इसको अच्छे से एनालाइज कर सकें, जिनका जो गलती हुई है उसको सही कर सकें और दोबारा करके एक बार प्रैक्टिस कर सकें, राइट. Now we had to revise gravitation. So I have chosen this chapter. Why? Because most of the schools, they are doing gravitation right now or taking tests on this. So that's why I have chosen this chapter. Once we do gravitation, then we'll go to force and laws of motion and then motion. So we'll go backwards basically in revising things. So gravitation, a force is necessary to produce motion in a body. A stone dropped from a height falls towards earth because the earth exerts a force of attraction called gravity on the stone and pulls it down. So any two objects which have mass, these two objects will attract each other with a force, and that force is known as gravitational force. The gravitational force is always attractive in nature. It will always attract. So two bodies will always get attracted. There will be no repulsion. ठीक है, जैसे चार्ज में रिपल्सन भी होता है इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स में, ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स का जो नेचर है दैट इज ऑलवेज अट्रैक्टिव इन नेचर. Okay, now so let's say we have two masses. So when we join the centers of these two masses, there is a force of attraction between these two masses acting along the line joining the centers. Now, the earth attracts or pull all the object towards its center. The force with which the earth pulls the object towards itself is called the gravitational force of earth or gravity of earth. Okay? The gravitational force of earth is responsible for holding atmosphere above the earth. तो ये एक natural phenomena है. तो जो atmosphere है that is being attracted towards earth, या atmosphere is held above the earth because of this gravitational pull of the earth. For the rain falling to the earth, rain drops जो है ऊपर से cloud से, it falls down on earth because of gravitation. For the flow of water in the rivers, it is also the gravitational force of earth which keeps us firmly on the ground, right? So जो gravitational force of earth है उसी के वजह से हम लोग we are able to stand also on the ground. According to Newton, every object in this universe attract every other object with a certain force, right? So according to Newton, every object in this universe attract every other object with a certain force. The force with which two objects attract each other is called a gravitational force or gravity. Okay. Now, if the mass of the object is small, then the gravitational force between them is very small, which cannot be detected easily, right? So if the mass of the object is small, right? So if the mass of the object is small, then the gravitational force between them is very small, which cannot be detected easily. तो जो वैल्यू होता है न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू बिकम्स वेरी स्मॉल ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स का, और उसको हम लोग डिटेक्ट भी नहीं कर सकते हैं क्योंकि मासेस स्मॉल है तो फोर्स का वैल्यू भी बहुत कम होगा, एंड वी इन नॉर्मल सिनेरियो विल नॉट बी एबल टू एक्सपीरियंस दैट स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ फोर्स. If, however, one of the object is very big, having a very large mass, then the gravitational force become very large and its effects can be seen easily. Okay? So, if, however, one of the object is very big, अगर एक का mass बहुत ज़्यादा है, then the gravitational force becomes very large and its effect can be seen easily. So, जैसे कि Earth is very big and it has a very huge mass, and that's why the effect of gravitational force due to Earth can be experienced very easily. Now, the Newton's law of gravitation is also known as universal law of gravitation. Okay. So, the universal law of gravitation was given by Newton, so it is also known as Newton's law of gravitation. According to universal law of gravitation, every body in this universe attracts every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay? So, according to universal law of gravitation, क्या है? The every body in this universe attracts every other body. जैसा कि मैंने बोला था, दो ऑब्जेक्ट जिसका मास है, they will attract each other with a force which is known as gravitational force. Now, this gravitational force is directly proportional to product of the masses, and this force is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So let's say if we have these two objects having masses m1 and m2, and let's say they are separated by a distance r. So let's say these are the two objects which has masses m1 and m2, and they are being separated by a distance r from each other. Then the force of attraction which acts between these objects, this force of attraction is directly proportional to product of the masses, and this force of attraction is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between these two. Now when you combine these two, first and second, so if you combine 1 and 2, we'll get the force is proportional to product of the masses divided by square of the distance. Now if this proportionality sign is replaced by an equality sign, we get F is equal to capital G m1 m2 divided by r square. Okay. This capital G is basically universal gravitational constant. So जिसका value 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 होता है. So according to universal law of gravitation, every body in this universe attract every other body with a force which is directly proportional to product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So direction of force is along the line joining the center of two bodies, right? जो हम लोग अभी बात कर भी रहे थे ऊपर. Suppose two bodies A and B of masses m1 and m2 are lying at a distance r apart. So ये हम लोगों ने बात किया था अभी कि force is proportional to, directly proportional to product of their masses, inversely proportional to square of the distance. Combining them, we get F is proportional to m1 m2 by r square, which is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. Now G is a constant known as universal gravitational constant. And the value of G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. So this is the value of G. So value of gravitational constant G does not depend on medium between the two bodies. It also does not depend on the masses of the bodies or the distance between them. ठीक है, ना तो मास पे डिपेंड कर रहा है, ना डिस्टेंस पे डिपेंड कर रहा है. तो ये this does not depend on masses of the bodies. ठीक है. दूसरा, और the distance between them, and does not depend on the medium between the two bodies. Now, if we double the distance between the bodies, the gravitational force becomes 1/4. And if we halve the distance between two bodies, then the gravitational force becomes 4 times. ठीक है. तो देखो, अगर आप लोग double the distance between two bodies, तो because force is directly inversely proportional to square of the distance, तो अगर distance को double कर देंगे, 2r कर देंगे, तो उसका square क्या हो जाएगा? 4r square हो जाएगा. So force become 1/4. वही चीज लिखा हो. If we double the distance between two bodies, the gravitational force becomes 1/4. And if we halve the distance between two bodies, so इसको अगर half कर देंगे r by 2, उसका square करेंगे, तो ये डिनोमिनेटर में 2 का स्क्वायर 4 आएगा, जो कि ऊपर जाके 4 टाइम्स बना देगा इसको. सो द फोर्स विल बिकम 4 टाइम्स. Now, Newton's law of gravitation is called universal law of gravitation because it is applicable to all the bodies having masses. तो दुनिया में जो भी बॉडी है जिसका मास है, तो न्यूटन्स लॉ ऑफ ग्रेविटेशन इज एप्लीकेबल टू इट. ठीक है. सो न्यूटन्स लॉ ऑफ ग्रेविटेशन इज कॉल्ड यूनिवर्सल लॉ बिकॉज इट इज एप्लीकेबल टू ऑल द बॉडीज हैविंग masses. Now, unit of gravitational constant. So the gravitational constant G will have a unit equal to Newton meter square per kg square. Value of gravitational constant G. So gravitational constant G is numerically equal to value of gravitation, force of gravitation which exists between two bodies of unit masses kept at a unit distance of each other. तो अगर दो ऑब्जेक्ट है जिसका मास यूनिटी है एंड they are separated by a distance 1 meter, in that case the force is equal to gravitational constant G. So जो G का वैल्यू है is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Though the various objects on this earth attract one another constantly, they do not cause any motion because the gravitational force of attraction between them is very small. So when both the objects are very big, having very large masses, then the gravitational force between them becomes extremely large. So gravitational force between them becomes extremely large. For example, if you see here, calculate the force of gravitation due to Earth on a ball of mass 1 kg, mass lying on the ground. So Earth की वजह से इस पे force लगाना है जो कि इसके is lying on the ground. तो उसका जो distance center of Earth से होगा, that is equal to the radius of the Earth. So the force of gravitation G times mass of Earth into mass of the ball divided by the radius of the Earth. G is 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 11. Mass of Earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24. And mass of the ball is 1 kg divided by R square, radius of the Earth, that is 6.4 into 10 to the power 3 किलोमीटर है, उसको मीटर में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे 10 to the power 6 हो जाएगा. ठीक है ना. 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 का होल स्क्वायर कर देंगे. अब इसको सॉल्व कर लेते हैं, राइट. सो वी हैव 6.7 into 6. So 6.7 into 6 divided by 6.4 का स्क्वायर. So this is 0.9814. And this is 6 2s are 12 and 11 23, 24 into 10. So this is 9.814 Newton. Is it clear, bachon?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Bhumi.
So this question you already did before and the answer that was coming was 62.8 Newton.
62.8 Newton.
Yes, sir.
कुछ गड़बड़ होगा उसमें, मतलब कुछ कैलकुलेशन में. नहीं, मुझे याद है मैंने जो ये 6.4 का ना स्क्वायर नहीं किया था, एंड देन आई करेक्टेड ऑल्सो उसके बाद,
Okay, sir.
है ना?
Sir, I will correct it in my notebook.
हाँ, you corrected. So this is the answer basically. Yeah, so if you don't divide it by the square of radius, you will get the same answer, 62 point something. So जब हम लोग कर रहे थे ना, तो r स्क्वायर में हम लोगों ने 6.4 स्क्वायर नहीं किया था, तो फिर मैंने अगले उसमें उसको ठीक किया था फिर. Now the second question here, okay, is a similar kind of question. The mass of the earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg. So mass of the earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg, and that of the moon is 7.4 into 10 to the power 22 kg. So mass of earth m1 मान लेते हैं, 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg, and mass of moon m2 is equal to 7.4 into 10 to the power 22 kg. If the distance between the earth and the moon be, so the distance between them is 3.84 into, किलोमीटर को मीटर में कन्वर्ट कर दोगे तो 10 to the power 8 मीटर हो जाएगा. इसको 10 to the power 3 से मल्टीप्लाई कर लेंगे. Calculate the force exerted by the earth on the moon. So capital G is 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 11. So force exerted by earth on moon. So force is equal to G m1 m2 divided by r square. So we'll put value 6.7, 10 to the power minus 11. M1 m2 means 6 into 10 to the power 24. 7.4 into 10 to the power 22 divided by r square. So 3.84 into 10 to the power 8 ka whole square. So this is 6.7 into 6 into 7.4 into 6 into divided by 3.84 square. 20.174 into 10 to the power minus 11, 24, 22. So 24 plus 22 minus 16 minus 11, 19. 2.0174 into 10 to the power 20 newtons. This is the force exerted by it. Clear, बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं. Now gravitational force holds the solar system together. तो solar system हम लोग को पता है कि elliptical orbits में sun एक focus पे है ellipse के, और बाकी सारे जो planets है revolves around it, right? So this is because of the gravitational force which holds this whole solar system together. So it is the gravitational force between the earth and the sun which keeps the earth in uniform circular motion around the sun. The tides in the sea formed by the rising and falling of water level in the sea are due to gravitational force of attraction which the sun and the moon exert on the water surface in the C. Okay. So the solar system is bound together using this because of the gravitational force. The tides which are there on the sea are again because of the gravitational force of attraction which the sun and the moon exert on the water surface in the sea. Now, here in this question, we have to find the gravitational force between two objects of masses 50 kg and 120 kg. So we'll see that the gravitational force is very less. है ना? ये है gravitational force answer basically. So gravitational force as we know is equal to G m1 m2 divided by r square. 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 G का value ले लेंगे. M1 M2 is 50 kg into 120 kg divided by r square. So distance of 10 meter ka whole square. So this is equal to 6.67 10 to the power minus 11 50 into 120 divided by 10 square, that is 100. So 6.67 into 60. .2, so 4.002 into 10 to the power minus 9 न्यूटन. यहाँ पे 4.002 होगा. क्लियर है बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Now Kepler's law of planetary motion, there are three laws of Kepler's. So Kepler first law, second law, and the third law of planetary motion. So Kepler's first law states that the planet move in elliptical orbits around the sun with the sun at one of the two foci of the elliptical orbit. Ellipse जो है कुछ इस तरह का shape होता है. So this shape is called ellipse. There are two axes of this ellipse. One is major axis and other is minor axis. The smaller one is minor axis, the bigger one is major axis. So this is major axis and this is minor axis. Now there are 2 points here on this ellipse which are called focus of the ellipse. So, and on one of the focus, the sun is being placed. So sun is situated at one of the focus of the elliptical orbit. And the planets basically revolve around the sun. ठीक है? So Kepler's first law यही कहता है कि planets move in elliptical orbit. So planets will move in the elliptical orbit around the sun with the sun at one of the two foci of the elliptical orbit. Sun कहाँ पे है? At one of the two focus. So there are two focuses. इनमें से किसी एक focus पे sun exist कर रहा होगा. Kepler's second law is so each planet revolves around the sun in such a way that the line joining the planet to the sun sweeps over equal areas in equal interval of time. So basically क्या है कि ये जो planet है जितने टाइम में यहाँ से यहाँ जाएगा उतने टाइम में ये planet ज़्यादा distance इधर move करेगा, right? Why? Because the area swept in this case. So area swept in this case is equal to area swept here, right? But if you see, the distance traveled here is less as compared to distance traveled here. ठीक है ना? So area swept in both the cases. यहाँ पे area swept by the radius vector and the boundary of ellipse, right? This gives you the, this proves the Kepler's second law of planetary motion. So a planet does not move with a constant speed around the sun because उसको equal area subtend करना है. तो यहाँ पे जो distance travel कर रहा है और यहाँ जो distance travel करना है उसमें बहुत difference है, right? यहाँ पे smaller distance है, यहाँ पे larger distance है. Now Kepler's third law states that the cube of mean distance of a planet from the sun is directly proportional to square of time it takes to move around the sun. So r cube is proportional to t square, or r cube is constant into t square. Proportionality sign को equality sign से कर लेंगे. So r cube by t square is constant. So Kepler's third law यही कहता है cube of the mean radius, cube of the mean distance of a planet from the sun, r cube is directly proportional to t square, time period का square. ठीक है. So we'll stop here at the Kepler's law वाला thing, and इसके आगे हम लोग अगली क्लास में रिवाइज कर लेंगे. So one more class would be needed where we can revise everything. So है ना, कोई डाउट होगा तो आप लोग पूछ लीजिएगा. बाकी keep on studying and keep on practicing. Okay बच्चों?
Okay, sir.